I can be sitting at work, have an idea, do something quickly, send it from my phone to the printer, and it's sitting there waiting for me when I get home, which is yeah, awesome functionality.
Welcome to Entertainment Engineering One-on-One. What we do here is talk to design engineers on a one-to-one basis. There's no script or anything like that.
Perfect.
Start with, basically a couple sentences about who you are, who you work for, how you kind of got into this in the first place, into engineering, of course.
Yeah.
You're a mechanical engineer, right?
Yes, I'm a mechanical engineer. I work for Biomerics, which is a medical device company. We're a contract manufacturer. And as far as getting into engineering, I honestly, the themed entertainment is part of it. I've always, from a young age, I've uh, loved the idea of using technology to kind of bring stories, locations, things like that to life. And so that kind of set my path towards engineering and then have ended up in the medical device space as a function of that kind of engineering training.
And so do you work on other projects besides just medical projects, or is it strictly medical?
Yeah, professionally, it is strictly medical. We're doing a lot of product development as well as product and process design.
Mhm.
So setting up manufacturing lines, designing fixturing, designing equipment, things like that is primarily professional responsibilities.
Oh, so from the device side to the manufacturing side.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah,
so
we
you have,
start, we are the company I'm at, Biomerics. We have a new product development, new product introduction group that works with OEMs to take device ideas, design them, help design them for manufacturing, and then take them all the way through production and commercial launch.
and so your title is design transfer engineer. What's the transfer? How did you get that? That
Yeah, so
degree.
transfer is basically taking a device that is mostly developed and bringing that into the manufacturing space. So whether that's a device that previously was uh, glued together by hand, and now we're developing fixturing to allow for the scale and manufacturability of the commercial device for launch. That's the primary responsibility of a design transfer engineer is developing those processes and validating those processes to ensure for reliable and safe manufacturing of the medical devices.
Oh, okay, cool. And then your interest outside is in animatronics.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah, that's
so where does that come from? Was you said kind of that's the beginning of all this? This is what you got into this field in the first place for?
yeah, absolutely. I remember as I was probably 12 or 13 years old and had had been to theme parks, amusement parks before that, but I specifically remember a trip I took around that time where it was I started to notice all of the technology involved. I had started to come a little bit out of the world of, oh, this is a world that this is like what's reality into understanding the technology and was just so amazed. I remember watching, coming back from that trip and diving into TV specials on the Travel Channel about the development of Animal Kingdom, things like that, and then diving into the YouTube rabbit hole, looking at there's a ton of great content about kind of the development of these theme parks, and so I at that time I kind of made the decision, yeah, this is I want to do this. I want to develop the skills necessary to do things like this, and that kicked me off on uh, the journey, the journey where I've ended up here now.
Yeah. So I think what's cool about this is I find that I talk to a lot of engineers. I also talk to a lot of writers, and
Yeah,
the creativity in both those fields is so amazing.
Yeah.
And to kind of pitch those together and fit those together is pretty cool. And now you also have been working with what, Batango? Is that how you pronounce that?
Yes, yeah. Botango is the company and software that, yeah, I've been uh, using some of their products to delve into the animatronic build, design, animation space.
And so how do you find that going from a mechanical engineering side to get into the electrical?
Yeah, so it's
Difficult?
is great, and that's part of the benefit of the Botango software is mechanical engineering. You do get some of that electrical kind of at a surface level, but maybe don't get as much of the distinct programming experience that you might get in the electrical sense. The Botango kit, the Maxwell kit, made it extremely accessible to take kind of those mechanical skills, things like that, mechanical engineering skills, things like that, and translate it into a kind of fully realized animatronic that I can sit, and they make it super easy to program and create kind of animation routines as well, without maybe the barrier to entry that would come if I was just sitting on my microcontroller and typing in code.
Yeah. And so once you've done some of this, you start to think outside that box and what else you can do with it. Have you
Yeah. Oh,
a project?
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I've already started applying the software tools that I learned from doing their kind of pre-made kit to getting into a new project and taking it from there and applying not just the software side of things, but as also the mechanical linkages, learning what works for I want a mouth to move, I want a head to turn. How do I integrate that? It was a good stepping stone to now I have ideas and can dive into that and even in a even more specific sense have the tools to take things out of my head into the physical world.
And so once you've done all this, do you go outside and get other components then? Things that are not necessarily in the kit now that you're creating on your own, you're
Yeah, absolutely. 3D printing is a great tool, a fantastic tool. The kind of commercialization and bringing that to a consumer level has been great. I have a 3D printer sitting on my desk right now, so I'm able to hop in uh, CAD software, design things, or find existing models, and then yeah, sourcing electronics. It's great. I've been able to go pick up similar motors to the ones used in the kit, but adapted to fit the exact purpose of what I'm looking for.
and so what kind of 3D printer do you have? Mind my
I have
asking?
a Bamboo A1 Mini, so just a little guy, but it's incredible. Even the it's the second printer I've owned. I upgraded from another model that, and it's incredible the progress even in the last 4 or 5 years on those at-home printers that it's become. I can be sitting at work, have an idea, do something quickly, send it from my phone to the printer, and it's sitting there waiting for me when I get home, which is yeah, awesome functionality.
And so you work on these projects after work, on weekends, or all the time, basically.
Usually yeah. Any free time I have, I'm looking into things, coming up with ideas, workshopping things, and yeah, so taking that time uh, outside of in a professional sense until I guess hopefully the goal in the future is to turn it to into doing it professionally. But yeah, right now it's just on the side.
Well, I noticed that in Botanics, Botango, on the
Yes.
website, they talk about, they call it artist-focused robotics. And
Yeah.
you get that sense that they looked at the artist and see how to build the robotics from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the really cool things that they've done is they've taken it from sitting there with a screen full of code, lines of code, and turned it into what's almost feels like video editing.
Mhm.
I hook up, I say, hey, I'm using these motors, I'm using this controller. And now instead of writing code, the software takes care of all of that. And I can bring my model into the software and say, here are the joints, here's where the motors interact. And then I can move that within the software and like using like keyframes in video editing. It's the exact same principle. I can say at 3 seconds, I want my animatronics head here and their mouth here, and it will create kind of those motion curves between. And so it makes it extremely easy because instead of having to take that leap from, well, it's just words on a screen, I get to see the object in space and like I'm working in Blender, like I'm working in other animation softwares, as opposed to sitting in an IDE and typing things in.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And so you're learning new software while you're doing this as well. And I try to learn a couple of different software programs every year
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
keep up to date. But you find keeping up to date is something that's necessary, right?
yes. Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And so what do you do? Do you combine the two, your regular work and this work? I mean, do they transfer back and forth a little bit? Whatever you're learning in one place gets used in the other?
Yeah, absolutely. A big part of my work is fixture design. Um, and so much of that is moving parts of equipment to where you need them to be, uh, electrically, mechanically, things like that. And so that comes right across those principles, as well as on a more specific level. We work in SolidWorks. We do all our design in SolidWorks. So CAD software, things like that. We do programming of microcontrollers for fixturing. All of that translates directly into kind of this animatronic hobby. It's skills, and I'm also it comes the reverse way. I've been able to implement kind of some of the principles that I've seen working on the animatronics into mechanisms, things to in a professional sense that I've been able to implement into fixturing as well.
Yeah. This is what I find really cool about these kind of things because um, when your interests are the same as your work, basically,
Yeah,
you get to no matter what you do, it builds on itself and you get better and
absolutely.
better at both sides. And so you become more valuable at work as well as more valuable with what you're doing outside of work. So it's kind of a nice combination, which I
Yeah,
really enjoy. So where do you see yourself going from here? I mean, you can use this talent anywhere,
yeah,
basically.
yeah,
And so, um, I've talked to other engineers on here who, they do all kinds of different industries, and the entertainment portion is only a small portion of it, or
yeah.
medium-sized portion of it. Do you see yourself being able to do both things at the same time, or going out on your own eventually, or anything like that?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think there's tons of opportunities. Again, we've talked that these principles and skills are linked so closely that, yeah, the desire is eventually to get to that entertainment. But I think in building to that point, there's tons of opportunities to develop new skills in medical device engineering, aerospace engineering. Yeah, like you said, they're so applicable to a
Yeah.
broad range of industries and position. So will learning new skills that will help to advance to that eventual goal, as well as to develop things that are being done on the side.
Yeah, I even see this kind of equipment being used in agriculture and marine technology all over the place.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really kind of cool
absolutely.
the way all the engineering can cross from one place to another and just expand from there.
Yeah,
I find that
definitely.
fascinating. So I appreciate your being here.
Yeah.
It's a very short discussion, but this is the whole idea, is to get to know engineers a little bit
No,
better
that's awesome.
and just to show how committed I think engineers are to what they
Yeah,
do inside the job, outside the job, everything else, and how important it is and how creative it feels. So I
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you for your time for sure.
yeah, thank you. So this is Entertainment Engineering One-on-One. Um, and Henry, I really appreciate the time you've spent with us here, and hopefully we'll talk again.
Yeah, thank you as well. Talk to you
Thank you.
soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.